today is have a very special podcast. I'm thrilled to bring in my next guest. She is an amazing woman. On my travels to Manila, Philippines, I met the most beautiful people in the world. I cherish my friendship with them. And this young lady, her name, I hope I get this right, Divine Quizon. Okay, let me just read her bio to you, and then I'm going to bring her on. Divine, I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, Leah, is an island girl from the Philippines, and I'm sure I'm going to mess this up, Palawan, Philippines, who chose to chase her dreams in Manila and worked as an offshore customer representative for different US-based companies like At&t and Expedia. She had to stop working because she had early stage cancer that caused her depression and a suicidal attempt. Then she asked God, why did I get this illness when all she wanted to do was work and take care of her family? Due to limited resources, as in no money, she was not able to avail the medical treatment that was available to her. So we're going to hear about this. She used natural medicine, proper diet, and her faith. She survived cancer in early 2017 and now is a health and wellness advocate. She started her own podcast, those of us in podcast land, woohoo, because she was so inspired. At the last Freedom Summit, that's Freedom Summit Philippines and Freedom Summit Global that Ricky Shetty started, and named her podcast The Voice of the Divine Cancer Journey Stories. She also is a founder of VANA, which is Virtual Assistant Network Asia, and now is an executive VA and event specialist in the Philippines. She loves helping other women rise and empower them to do more than they could imagine. She's a mother to a 15-year-old, I hope I pronounce this right, Andrei, and wife to Alvin. Her dream is to have freedom of health, freedom to travel, and freedom of finances. So without further ado, I'm going to bring her on. I'm so excited. Okay, attendee, here is Divine. I'm going to promote her to panelist. I'm getting the hang of this. Yes. And we're going to do this. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yippee! Here we are. Oh, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Good evening. It is 11:07 p.m. Philippine time. The good news is my US time is exactly 12 hours behind. So I've gotten used to time. Oh my gosh, it is so great to have you with us today. Pronounce your name. Thank you. Pronounce your name for us and get that straight.
Yes, you're correct. It's Divine.
Divine. That is such a beautiful name. Oh, I love your t-shirt. Is that a VANA t-shirt?
Yes.
Woo! Go VANA! Divine, tell the audience, I mean, you have such an incredible story. You found your purpose in life. You found your mission in life. Tell everybody who's listening and watching, what type of cancer, when did you find out that you had cancer? What type of cancer was it?
Okay, so it was year 2014 or 2014 when I found out that I do have an early stage cervical cancer because I think for me, and my doctor said that it's triggered by stress due to my work, and I'm doing a graveyard shift work in a call center here in the Philippines, and I'm also selling real estate in the morning. So I think lack of sleep and stressing work. So that triggered the cancer in my body. So I didn't take good care of it because I thought I was young. I was like 29 when I was diagnosed. So that's
And how did you know that there was something wrong? Did you not feel well, or how did they find out?
actually I did not feel anything before that. But when I was on my shift that time, um, I had an abnormal bleeding. The nurse in our office thought that I had miscarriage. So they told me that I need to go to an emergency room in a hospital. So I was uh, straight to the from office to the hospital. I was sent by our office, and the doctor said that it was not miscarriage, but it was because my cervical area, or the lining for that area, exploded because of some cysts. So there's cysts in those area, and that is the time that they advise that I should be operated, but because there's a positive um, cell for cancer, they advised me to undergo chemotherapy first, but I did not go through it.
Okay, you did not go through it because now over in the Philippines, is there any health insurance over there, or do they what you have to pay for everything out of pocket? How do you get your health care?
So, of course, this is a third world country
Yeah.
compared to you there in the US or Canada and the other countries. We don't have, for us, we don't have support coming from the government for our health. So I was lucky that time because I was employed to a call center, um, or BPO industry where we do have this health card.
Okay.
But for that specific health card that I have that time, cancer was not covered. So it's just like limited to sickness or just minor illnesses.
Okay.
So it was me who will decide if I will go through chemotherapy, we will pay for it. So I was not prepared. We do have funds, like we have savings, but uh, it will not cover the full chemotherapy session. So uh, my family decided to first sell some of our properties in the island because I'm from an island here in the Philippines. But I also decided myself that I will not go through it. So I check for alternatives.
Wow. So if you get a chronic illness over there, you either pay for it or it's tough luck.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
So some of the Filipinos also, if they had, especially if it's end stage cancer, it's like they will choose to die than just to pay for the medication.
gosh.
You know, you've been here, and you know, Philippines is not really that. Of course, we are from the third world country, so most of our government benefits are not that good, like unlike yours.
Mhm. Well, we could have a whole nother show on that one. Ah, sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not so good, but that's a whole other show. So you chose not to go through the chemo. What did you choose to do?
There's a lot of alternatives here in the Philippines because of course Filipinos are like we tend to do things on our own ways, like we call that discarte, or Filipinos are all over the world because we really check for alternatives, even if it's work or anything. So I checked the TCM, or the Chinese medication. So I enrolled myself to some
Chinese
class.
medicine. Zippity
Yes.
doo that's right at my alley.
And also, um, that time there's a doctor here in the Philippines. She's a wellness doctor using plants. So I also enrolled to her classes, and I also, in my own self, change my diet and my way of lifestyle. Because of course, I knew in myself that it was triggered by me. It's also myself. On the first months that I knew it, it's like I'm in denial, and I got depression. I also like want to die first before that cancer arrive, or it's like questioning myself, why do I have this? But eventually, I realized that it is because of me. So I changed my diet. I also quit my jobs and rest, and really make my immune system up, or really um, sleep, exercise, drink a lot of water, and eat the right kind of food, and also my inner being. I also am into essential oils. That's why I do have a lot of friends from Singapore who's teaching me how to do emotional wellness, like using essential oils, because sometimes it's really on the emotions that is why you're getting sick.
Yes.
So I really actually invest on learning why I got this cancer, and eventually I did a lot of things. I did all of those, and it manifested. The largest I think factor that really changed me is holding on to my spiritual being, because before I really am so busy with earning, like I want to make a lot of money and to give a good life for my family, but it was really a life changing moment for me, because sometimes it's really not the money, because all the money that I have that time, or my savings, was lost, and I got some debts from family and friends because I was sick. So it was like realization that money can really you can spend it in just one session for chemotherapy, all of it, the savings that I have. So I realized that it's not more of money, but it's your purpose, your real purpose here in this in your life, or in here on earth.
And you are amazing, Leo Divine. What I want to tell our viewers and listeners too is that here's the disclaimer, disclosure. This is Leo Divine's journey and her story. And there is no way that I am advocating to anyone, whether you're in the US or around the world, that you choose one or the other. Always consult with your doctor before making any medical decisions on your own. And then if you want to put together a team of healthcare providers to combine alternative treatments with traditional Western medical care, but I am not in any way advocating that you not use traditional Western medicine and not have chemo or radiation or whatever your oncologists recommend that you do. This is Leo Divine's story. I'm bringing this to you. to inspire you, to educate you, but not tell you to do one or the other. Consult with your doctor regarding your own healthcare needs. Okay, thank you, Leah Divine. I had to put that disclaimer in there so people didn't think, oh, Joan's just telling us to give up traditional Western medicine and go the natural route. No, I'm not. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Then you chose this path for yourself. And now this was in 2017 that you learned you had cancer, or what year? 14. So now it's 2019, 5 years. What is going on with the cancer? I mean, you are a shining light. What happened with the cancer?
Last 2 years ago, I was already advised that I was cancer free.
Wow.
Yes, that was really a miracle or a blessing, because I'm really not telling that I can be cancer free for those medications, but because of my positive outlook on those times, I hold on to some, of course, prayers, faith, and most of all, I ventured into people who are positive in life, and I think I'm ready if God will get me. So, but I think I also have a big purpose here in Earth. That's why 2017 I was given a certificate that those cancer cells was not progressing. Wow. And they told me that it no longer will be, it will not spread in my body. I was cancer free 2017. But they also advised me that because I did not, hello, Joe? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Your audio is fantastic. The screen just temporarily froze. So that's the old broadband. But yeah, we're good.
So of course, the doctor's advice that because I did not go through any medication, Western medication, I really need to check every now and then, because I've been going in and out of the hospital and checking for. Okay, hello?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello?
I'm here.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
So they told me that I just need to monitor all my the results. So every 6 months, I'm in and out of the hospital checking my whole body. So if because sometimes they say that it will transfer to a different part of the body. So as of this time, I'm going 6 months checking for my body. Sometimes 3 months I check, especially the upper areas, and I'm so thankful God is really with me with this journey, and still I don't have any signs of cancer within my body right now.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm so happy for you. What is your message to people going through cancer right now? What would you tell them?
I know that cancer patients could not express what really is their feeling. It's just, or what will happen to them. Sometimes people panic when they do have this sickness, and it's normal for cancer patients. It's just, and if you do have the privilege to go on the regular medication, of course I also would tell my friends to go through it, because it's the easiest, or if it's the easiest way out of cancer, why not? So it's just that on my end, I don't have those capacity that time to undergo through it. So that's the reason why I was not able to. So I did a lot of things. But if you do have money, then because I do have friends from Singapore who's cancer, three-time cancer survivor. So because they do have money to really fund for their cancer sickness and their insurance in their country is very good. So still undergo on those because of course doctors knew or know about your sickness. It's just that here in the Philippines is not that we don't have that privilege. That's why we are into herbal medicines and plants that we choose to provide for ourselves. And second, uh, I I understand the feeling of people who's having cancer, and I would really I'm advocating right now for the family on how they can understand um, those members who have cancer, because sometimes people tend to um, act like they're having a hard time or they're pitying on the cancer patient, but it doesn't help. So you must tell them, or you're the first person to be strong enough to boost those patients, because of course we do have that feeling that we're losing our lives earlier like that. So the people who surrounding cancer patient should not feel like that, or they should be the ones who's really lifting this patient. So I am now like gathering people, family members who has cancer patients to have some workout or some traditions to do while they do have cancer patients at home, so that they can take good care of this patient. And because and also those emotional feelings, emotional wellness is important for cancer patients. And lastly, um, it's really how you balance your life, because before I really understand that I don't balance my work and my everything. So I don't eat on time, I don't eat healthy food. Right now I would really make sure, and I would suggest that if you have, especially if you have cancer um, family member, you must take note that you can also have cancer itself, even if you don't have it right now. So make sure that you balance your work, your family, your relationship, your spiritual being, and of course your time with yourself. Because sometimes forgot ourselves, especially mothers here in the Philippines. We tend to work, and we forgot about our own self. But we will just realize that when we were gone, we will take good care of our family. So it's loving ourselves first.
Oh, you are so wise for one so young. Beautiful words. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, having visited the beautiful Philippines, their food is extraordinary. What I wouldn't
Thank you,
give.
especially our fruits.
Oh, what I wouldn't give for a fresh banana or papaya or guava right now. Just they get their fruits and vegetables, they get their fruits right off the tree. They don't have to go and have a big company get a banana, store it in a refrigerated vault for 6 months, and then take it to the grocery store. Oh, but soon in North America, and we will at least start getting our
I do hope
strawberries.
you get back here too.
Oh, listen, my sleep schedule is still off, but I would gladly hop on a plane, and someday I will be back for sure, Leah Divine, someday, because my most favorite saying that I learned there, and I say it every day, mabuhay. which is what?
Okay.
That's what? Coming from the heart, or welcome to the Philippines from the heart? That's what does that mean? Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Are we having internet issues? Okay, hang in there. I'm coming back. Okay. Just occasionally a little bit of a glitch with the broadband, but Leo and I will connect here soon. All right. Coming back, coming back. Yes. Leo, can you hear me? Okay. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, in the Philippines, the internet gets weak. So that's the only difficulty that we have sometimes with doing podcasts, is that the internet gets a little shaky. So I think we're going to be back here soon. I'm hopeful. And then as soon as the internet is back, then Leo Divine and I will continue for a few more minutes. Okay. Hang in there, everybody. She's coming back. It's so hard when you have broadband issues. Okay.
Yeah.
Leo, can you hear me now?
Yes. Sorry about that.
No problem. I was just explaining to everybody that's listening and watching that sometimes there are broadband issues between the Philippines and the US, which would be back. Mabuhay means welcome from the heart. What does that saying mean? Because it's my favorite new phrase.
That means here in the Philippines, when you say mabuhay, it's actually welcoming the people, or welcoming the people here in the Philippines. We normally say it when someone is arriving, like mabuhay, welcome here in the Philippines. And that is the first phrase that the foreign would say to everyone here in the Philippines. So it's like our welcoming phrase.
Well, I love it. The two words that I learned that I use every day, salamat and mabuhay. Those are my two favorite words. But
yeah,
it's just been, Leo Divine, tell us a little bit about VANA. I want everybody to know about Virtual Assistants of Network Asia. That's what that stands for, right?
yes.
Okay, because yes, VANA has been very helpful to me. Shout out to Nellie, my blogger. The sisterhood of VANA is very special.
Correct.
Carry the head of it, and then you ladies, you get together and you have a system where if anybody needs a virtual assistant, they can contact. Do they contact Carrie and then she triages if anybody needs a virtual assistant? Is that how that works?
Correct. You're right, Joan. We actually made this VANA, Virtual Assistant Network Asia, to help out, empower ladies here in our place. Okay. So compared to other virtual assistants, they are virtually checking out each other, or they are in a group where they don't see each other every now and then. Unlike us, we do have a headquarters here in um, Cavite. That is the next province next to Manila. Mm-hmm. So we normally are like an office type, but this is a house that we turn into an office. So we can like help each other abruptly. How we can, because sometimes you can join a lot of virtual assistant groups here in the Philippines. But what made us special is like we specialize, or we really make sure that we go for quality versus quantity. Mm-hmm. So it's not that we are really so huge in numbers, but all of us, we filter our members, especially the skills. Most of us came from the corporate setup.
Yes.
So we do have skills before that we can use already. So we normally don't train them so that hard or back to zero because they already work for it in the corporate. And we pull them out and we do have a setup like this so we can train each other. But you can also work anywhere as long as there's Wi-Fi. It's just that here in the office, our Wi-Fi is good enough, unlike in our houses. So they also have an option to work anywhere. But because we're like sisters here, we eat a lot. We make some accessories like this one. We make this for the members, so we let them feel like they have a family, and that's the reason why. If they think about VANA, it's actually not just a typical virtual assistant, but it is more of sisterhood and a long-term relationship. Because, of course, if you are working at home alone and you're with a client, you really will sometimes feel down because you don't have someone to talk to you. You can talk to other VAs virtually, so you can chat them or do Zoom calls. But it's really for Filipinos, we do have this warm feeling when we do have people around us. So you can imagine how we work. So sometimes it's like we're emotional about it, and we can share also our problems and boost each other, our emotions, especially.
Now, if somebody was interested in contacting VANA, how would they do that? Do they contact Carrie, or is there a website, or how would they do that?
Yes, actually, for now, you can contact any VANA members. They will connect you to Carrie. Carrie is in the US right now, but even if she's in the US, she's really getting clients. We actually do normal, or this is so normal with VANA. We do face-to-face contact with client. So that's why we encourage our members to um, join those events
I'll
and
tell you
meet.
what, Leo Divine, you text me the contact information, and I will make sure that it's in the description of this podcast, if in case everyone
Okay.
wants to.
Okay. And they can also join our Virtual Assistant Network Asia group in Facebook.
Okay.
So when they need someone, they can post it in that group.
Okay.
And we can.
What is the name of that page?
Virtual Assistant Network Asia. So
okay, so spell the whole thing out. Just don't go VANA. Go Virtual Assistant Network Asia.
That is correct.
Facebook. Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, I wanted to make sure I put a plug in for VANA.
Yes. And we can really make arrangement through online and anything that they want virtually. Especially, Carrie just advises that some of the hotels in New York doesn't have social media because it's expensive for them to hire someone in the US. So I think now outsourcing those, especially the social media management.
Yeah, great. So, what advice would you have for our listeners? Anything that you want to let people know before we end our time today? What would you like people to know?
First, before I would tell them about or my parting words, I just like to thank you, Joel, for trusting me and yes.
Divine, what is the name of your podcast?
My podcast name is The Voice of Divine.
Okay.
Yes, that is Voice of Divine, the Cancer Journey Stories. So it's more of stories of people who had undergone and is going through cancer right now.
All right. So anyone out there that is struggling or you love someone who is struggling, you might want to take a listen in at Leo Divine's podcast to see how
Yes.
it can inspire you, because she is very inspiring. I am so
Thank you.
homesick from Manila. I can't tell you. I miss you all so much. It was the trip of a lifetime to come over and meet with
Thank
everyone.
you.
Oh,
And
thank
I would just like to invite everyone to uh, check out VANA, Virtual Assistant Network Asia. We do have a page and a group. If you need virtual needs or anything for your social media, you can contact us, or anything about your business, you can contact us here in the Philippines. And I also invite you to go here in the Philippines and
Oh,
try and try to experience our hospitality and love here in
second
the
to
Philippines.
none. As Vanna, I'm already being helped by someone with Vanna, and
Yes,
I am about to get some help for some. I have an accountant in the US, but I need some help with other things, supplement to my accountant. So I'm about ready to get some more help. You don't know you don't know what you need until your business really starts expanding and you realize you can't do it all yourself.
yes,
That
that
is
is
my
correct.
biggest realization. It's like, oh my gosh, I need help. So
Yeah,
it's a comfort to know that Vanna is there. And these ladies are skilled, they're
yes,
honest, they're dependable, and they're very, very affordable. So I want to put that
yes,
in
right.
there. Leah Divine, I want to thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank
So,
you.
everyone that's watching and listening, again, this is Life Without Limits, because there are no limits to what you can achieve. And Leo Divine is a perfect example of that. If you have questions or comments, please share this with someone you love. Like this podcast on Facebook, leave a comment. I'm Joan at joankaler.com, tapping with Joan. I help people across the street and around the world. So contact me if I might be of service to you as a consultant. Thank you so much, Leo Divine. You have a fantastic
Thank
evening.
you.
Thank you for staying up to do this. So,
Thank you.
salat and have a wonderful evening.
Mabuhay.
Mabuhay. Yes. Thank you, dear
Thank
heart.
you, Joe.
Bye bye.